Welcome, parents, to Remote Synchronous AP Psychology. Sadly, I'm not able to be with you guys there at the refurbished and facelifted Woodside Prairie School today. I am on the East Coast as we speak, as I am for all of the AP Psych classes with your lovely sons and daughters this year. It's a bold experiment. I'm sure you've heard your sons and daughters talk about it this year. So I thought, Mr. Montero and I thought it'd be nice if we put together a little video for you that kind of gives you a sense of what the class feels like. Again, my name is Adam Seiler. I've taught at the Prairie for the last 10 years, taught AP Psych for the last 5 years, but this is the very first year that anybody's ever done this online using the online platform. So yeah, let's get started. So let me give you the agenda for today. We're going to be looking at several key questions. What the heck is remote synchronous AP psychology? How did my little angel get roped into this? What is the daily routine of the class? What's the class feel like? And how do the quizzes and tests work? And then I foolishly put questions here at the end. And if you do have any questions, feel free to email me or give me a call, and we can certainly talk about those things. So, what the heck is remote synchronous AP psychology? Well, remote means the teacher's not there. And of course, being on the East Coast, I'm not in beautiful Portola Valley, California. And synchronous means that it's live. I interact with your sons and daughters back and forth. It's basically a phone conversation with live video. So it's kind of like Skype, if you're familiar with that, or FaceTime. Yeah, so we interact in a live and dynamic way. Really, the only difference between a regular class and this class is that I'm physically not in the room with them. What we're interacting on tonight is actually just a remote function, not a synchronous, because this, of course, is a pre-recorded video. How did my little angel get roped into this? So, before we get to that, what you're noticing on the screen here on the video is exactly what your sons and daughters see every single class. You'll see lots of little pictures. I'm sure you see Mrs. Reboff there, the tech guru of the Woodside Prairie School. She'll give you a little wave right now. Nicely done, right? You'll see Mr. Montero there. Joe, do a little dance for us. Alrighty, right? And so what we'll do is we'll be able to see each other and interact with each other via our laptops. Now, it might be it's taken a little adjustment because, of course, the students are around each other, so it's a little odd to interact through the computer screen. But for me, it's perfect because it gives me an opportunity to actually still see and interact with them in a dynamic way. So, okay, how did my little angel, get roped into this? The cohort for remote synchronous AP psychology this year is quite probably the most selective group of academicians ever at the Woodside Prairie School. A lot of people wanted to take the course. We didn't have enough room to accommodate everybody. The school wanted to kind of keep it relatively small. That way we had a lot of control over it to make sure all the logistics work and that sort of thing. Currently, we're about 3 weeks in, and it's going swimmingly. We haven't had any tech problems really whatsoever. The kids are able to interact. They're so comfortable with the technology that it's relatively easy for them. Actually, they're helping me. They're helping me and Mr. Montero almost every day to get up to speed. So they're kind of the experts, and we're the ones catching up here, which is kind of a nice little reversal, right? Okay, so that's how they got in. They applied, they wanted to take the class, they came and talked to me, and I was very clear about the expectations are still very high. It's still an AP course. They will take the AP at the end of the year. They'll get college credit more likely than not. We're working on the same the same pace as previous years, so nothing's really changed there, just the fact that I'm not physically in the classroom with them. right? So what's the daily routine? Well, the kids walk into class, they pop open their laptop, they put on their little fancy headsets right here. Mr. Montero, while they're doing all this, takes roll. I project through, and we start class. As Mr. Montero and Mrs. Reboff and I were thinking about this over the summer, we thought that this might take 10 minutes to get started, maybe even longer than that. It's been really easy, and let's knock on wood there, cross our fingers that it keeps going that way. The kids are so technologically sound, and Mrs. Reboff has done so much work over the summer, and the tech department has done so much work over the summer that's really easy to get started on that front. So we just go right into class, and I conduct class as usual. So let me give you an example of that. We might get into class, and I might just as you saw right here, the agenda, I can project documents here. I can highlight documents. I can have them take little notes right here. This is what class feels like, right? This sort of thing. It's very easy. The kids can see it. We can interact in that way. Another thing I can do is project the normal PowerPoints right here. We can go through there, right? And I can interact with these in the exact same way. I can highlight things. I can change them up so the kids are able to see it in that way. When we need to do YouTube clips, I can go right on the web and pull up the materials that I pre-downloaded there. The interactive software that the school recommended is something called GoToTraining. It's a subsidiary of a company called GoToMeeting, which you might have heard of. It lets us do quizzes online and polls online and kind of do a one-stop shop. So that software, in conjunction with Haiku, has made it really, really easy for us to try this technology out this year. All right, next agenda item. What does class feel like? It feels like this. We've kind of been going over that a little bit. Tests and quizzes. This is a bold experiment with technology this year. It's new for us at the Priory, certainly new for me, new for Mr. Montero. We are pushing ourselves with this technology, but we want to make sure that we're emphasizing the kid and focusing on the kids first, not the technology first. We want to make sure the kids are comfortable first. So what I've been doing, and sort of building the plane as I fly it here a little bit, is I've been trying to get as much of this class to be electronic as possible, but also having hard copy backups. So for the quizzes, I've been posting them online, and the kids that want to take those quizzes online are able to do that through Haiku. But Mr. Montero also has hard copies there to hand out to the class. That way, if a student feels more comfortable using a hard copy, they can do that. I'm not comfortable yet because I don't know exactly how this is going to go. I'm not comfortable telling students that they need to do it in one particular way just so this class can be as avant-garde as possible. That doesn't seem appropriate to me at this stage. Maybe we'll get there by the end of the year, but I think right now we'll be doing 95% of the class, through this platform. But then for those students that want to have a hard copy of the test, if they just work better that way, that's totally fine, right? So we've been the tests and quizzes will not change in that regard. They'll have a hard copy. The class is very demanding academically. You might have heard through the grapevine. They have a chapter test every 2 weeks. So we have 14 chapters. We'll get through those 14 chapters 2 weeks at a time. We'll finish that by the end of the third quarter, and then we'll review for a quarter, the fourth quarter, and then they'll take on May 2nd, they'll take the AP test down in the PAC. So that's kind of the schedule for the year. And finally, I just want to sort of a word to the wise here. There's a lot of functionality that's really cool. At the end of the day, the thing that kind of worried me over the summer is that I wouldn't feel like if a kid had a question, I would know. Or if a kid needed to have a private conversation, I wouldn't be able to do that. Or if a kid just had a big concern, I would be the last to know, or something like that. I've found in 3 weeks that not to be the case for a huge number of reasons, not the least of which is we have an adult in the class 24/7 with the kids, and that's Mr. Montero. Additionally, this class it's a lot of sizzle in this class, so we have a lot of teachers and administrators coming into class. We've got a lot of tech personnel coming into class just to make sure stuff is running well. So we've got a lot of adults around all the time. So if there is, for any reason, a concern with students, we've obviously got a lot of adults around. The other thing is that this software, I've had to go a little slower with on the pedagogy side, the classroom teaching side, just to make sure everybody is up to speed and that sort of thing. As such, I'm asking individual students, does this make sense? They're able to send me little chat messages on this that really give me a sense how they're doing. In a way, I've gotten a much better sense of actually how kids are doing because they're very comfortable with the technology and they're able to send me private messages and that sort of stuff as class is going on. So I feel really, really, really good on that front that that one, the kids are absolutely ready for it. That two, the adults are catching up and getting caught up with the kids really rapidly as well. And then feel incredibly supported by a huge number of very, very talented adults on campus to make sure that this is that we get a good sense this year of whether or not this is an optimal platform for us, but really making sure that this is an optimal classroom experience for the kids, even as we kind of get a sense technologically whether or not this is going to work out. Our number one priority is that our kids feel safe, that they feel like that this is a cool, interactive, high output learning experience, and then of course, if anything does go wrong, that they have people that they trust and that are around to sort of help them through. So again, if you have any questions or anything, if you want to send me an email, please do. Here's my email here. It's on the website. Feel free also to give me a call. If you have any comments or concerns. I've obviously with the seniors, I've said that, hey, they know how to steer their own academic ship this year. If they have questions, I know all of them feel very, very comfortable coming forward and asking me. But for any reasons, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to chat with you and hear how the year's going for your sons and daughters. So thank you very much. I hope to make my way out to California at some point this year, and when I do, I'll send a message out, and hopefully we can chat in person. So thank you so much.